And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Welcome to Make HOAG Money. Happy Monday, everyone. May the 22nd, 2023. Hard to believe we're almost to June already. But welcome to Make HOAG Money. This is me, Senior Performance Coach here at Top Step. 40 years in the industry experience, screen trading since 2009. And with Top Step since 2011. But technically, today is my 12th anniversary from the formal joining of Top Step. It's great to be here with everybody. As always, one of my favorite things to do is talk trading with traders. Rules, well, this is the CFTC Commodity Commission statement here. Everything we do here in Make HOAG Money is meant for educational purposes. We're not suggesting the purchase or sale of anything we're doing here. Futures and Forex trading contain substantial risk and is not for everybody. These are leveraged products. You do stand the possibility of losing more than your initial investment. Risk capital is money that we can afford to lose. We should only use risk capital to trade with, but if you're part of Top Step and you succeed in the trading combine, we're going to put that risk capital up for you. Any past performance is never indicative of future results. Hypothetical or simulated performance results has certain limitations. This is a live account, but I think the biggest difference is the skin in the game, accountability, rules, consequences. It's easy to trade in sim, much harder to make those hard trading choices when you have skin in the game. Rules for Make HOAG Money, kindness and respect are expected above everything. There's always differences of opinions in markets. It's part of what makes them so good. We're all going to be involved in these trading decisions. You're going to have a couple of people enabled to speak if they want to. We're going to use the chat rooms to discuss trades. I'll poll you if we're going to vote on a trade. We're going to focus on the MES for opportunities, at least for now. We're not going to trade just to trade. We're not going to take losing trades, which was meant to be a joke. Taking losses is part of trading. We have to learn to cut them quick, and move on. And then, of course, feedback about Make HOAG Money is always appreciated. Always looking to improve. If you have any feedback, you can send it straight to me. Don't worry, not going to hurt my feelings. Been around here for a long time. I got some thick skin. jhoagland@topstep.com. You can send any suggestions or feedback on Make HOAG Money right there. And let's take a look at the platform. I know we've got Greg chomping at the bit to come on in and start chatting. Well, come on in, Greg. Joe is talking internals being bullish. Doesn't surprise me. I just took my first trade of the day up against the high here. Took almost 8 points on it. Didn't want to fall in love. It was a nice, tasty little trade. And that's where we're at. So we've got we've got a normal trading day. In other words, we haven't left the initial balance, which is the first hour of trade. Greg, what's going on?
Yes, good day. I was saying the same thing. We got an inside day. Will this be Make HOAG Money for a break of the initial balance, or we fade it?
Well, I faded it once and successfully got almost 8 points out of the trade, but I didn't want to fall in love with it because we had some pretty strong positive delta where we had negative delta the better part of the day. So if we were too short in the hole, I think we've taken those out. Now we've got positive delta of about 3,500. The market has has kind of looked to see if there's anything to do above. One of the things we got to point out, though, Greg, is we know that our recent high was in the overnight session. Markets don't like
and
to
the
leave.
time frame don't like that.
That's right. And it's even that way in the NASDAQ. Here's that recent high in overnight session. Market's going to target that if it's got the legs to get there. What are you thinking, Greg?
Well, I'm thinking long. I'm thinking long as well.
And we got Joe saying his internals are bullish. Yes, even if you boo, Daniel.
But now it's a point of where we're gonna mitigate risk.
To get long, I know that's the problem, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. One thing, but I do have a level, the median of the initial balance, which is 4206.50.
Half back,
That's
right?
a deep pullback. Right, half back of the initial balance.
Right.
But I'm not too. That might be too conservative for a pullback.
Yeah, if it does get all the way back down there, I don't know if I'd like it.
Correct, because we're in the middle. We're where the tennis ball player is.
Yep.
This one is tough. I ain't gonna lie, Mr. O. This one is a tough one.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're gonna break out the balance or stay in the balance.
Look at this. Robert on YouTube is saying there's a Batman head forming, and you can see it. Here's one wing. Here's one ear and another ear. Something tells me I should have stayed short. I had good location.
Batman, that's
cheap.
what, a Head and Shoulders Batman head?
I would
Head and
say
Shoulders?
that would be something like
Okay.
that. But that's Head and Shoulders is something that's a reversal pattern. I don't think we've really come up to this. We've come down to it.
Right.
But I see that, Robert. It does. It looks like Batman. Head and ears.
Initial balance.
Head and ears. So, if we're thinking risk first,
Correct.
then we're more in an area where we'd look for shorts than longs.
Agreed. I'm looking at the MACD. My MACD is crossing to the downside. Got a cross on the 5 minutes. Yes, this is where I would lean on you, Mr. Hogue. Not gonna lie. If I was by myself, I probably would stay flat in this situation.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at here. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got a relatively even bell curve. We just looked at the high. So far, that's been holding as resistance. We're back in value. Value area high is really right here at 42.15 for TPO value. But what are we risking here? We're risking 15 to 24, 9 points. Value area is only 15 points wide. It's a very narrow value area. So my real focus is on extremes here and here.
Correct.
I'd sooner buy a break out of the initial balance to the upside than buy it here. At least I've got
That's what I'm
reference,
thinking.
right?
Yeah, something to lean on. Correct. You could put a stop under the initial balance high if you break out.
I don't know that I've ever seen the head and ears formation. That's good. Yeah, Anissa, you know that recent high is lingering above us. That is in overnight session. Good afternoon, everyone. Chart Language, Sarah Hall, Plug, I'm For Real, Vlad, Gnostic, Scott, Tom. My brother's watching. What's up, Thomas? Keegan, Anissa, Robert, DA on YouTube.
1 second, Mr. Hogue.
Yeah, do your thing. Oh, Jason, Vince. Christian Rodriguez. My brother has a close friend, Christian Rodriguez. Is that you, Christian? Hello, Jason. Steve, Jason, Robert, good to see everyone. Lacey's been a bum today. She was out a lot over the weekend. She's catching up on Z's. She's just been crapped out on my rug most of the day. Daniel, would buying here be an innovator instead of waiting for the eBay breakout? Well, when we're looking at the price action from today, if we were to buy up here, we'd be a laggard. But if we were to extend the range and leave excess, that would make us an innovator. To me, that's a big if. Unless something happens, I'm really not looking for any kind of range extension today, right? Well, much love to you as well, Christian. Anybody check their emails yet? You, might like what you see. Daily loss limit hit is no longer a rule violation. The risk manager will take you out, but you don't have to reset. It's going to keep you out till 5 p.m. that night. You'll be able to trade the next day without a reset. Big news. More on the way. Just saying. Can't say anything yet, but we got a lot more exciting stuff coming. I'm for reals doesn't trust it this close to VWAP. Double bottom on the 12th. Got a weak low there. We did break out above this balance area here. And we seem to be holding and accepting higher prices, but how good of a job is it doing? How good of a job is it doing? Yes, Robert, you will still have to build the account back. But at least you have the opportunity to. And, there is a lot to be said. Yeah, right. I mean, Robert is saying it's better than starting at zero again. If you're positive in your trading combine and you hit the daily loss limit, you got to start back at zero. But dealing with adversity in this way, like, you hit your daily loss limit, you've got to make the money back, right? But think about it as honing your skills. You could take the easy way. If you're down in your account and you hit the daily loss limit, you can always reset. But I think that's the easy way. Build your way out of that hole over time. Don't just over leverage and try and get out of it in one day or whatever. Just look for the right opportunities, dig your way out of the hole, and you'll have the opportunity to continue trading, right? The thing that was, I kind of use an analogy for this, and it's learning to play the guitar. Okay? If you're playing Guitar Hero, you may become very good at Guitar Hero, but you're really not learning anything about playing the guitar. Well, if you decide to play the guitar, there's lots of choices. There's a classical guitar, there's a steel string acoustic guitar, there's electric guitars, whatever one you think you want to choose. When I was kind of thinking about picking up the guitar, and a friend of mine said, if you're going to learn to play on a steel string acoustic. It's probably, the harder one to play because the strings are tighter. You're going to be bruising your fingertips. You're going to be a stronger, better guitar player because you've started on a steel string acoustic guitar. So I bought a steel string acoustic guitar. Still have it. Haven't been playing it much lately, but I did, get to a relatively, good level of skill, and maybe I get back to one of these days. Please tell me it's like riding a bicycle, although I've forgotten more than I knew. Probably. Well, today we're looking at the way the day went. Just kind of review here. Our opening range was initially the low of the session. Okay, the market, I don't see the first trade here, but I'm gonna do this on this platform then. So initially the opening range was the low of the session. So we opened, and first thing we did was repair Friday's profile. We opened at a point of control here in this lower distribution. The market opened and drove right to a point of control in the upper distribution of the double distribution trend day that occurred on Friday. Then we had some news about some sort of explosion near the Pentagon, and the market jerked for a little bit. It turned out to be a false alarm, from what I understand. And now we're just inside the initial balance. We're essentially located inside a normal day. To me, is the worst place to take a trade. Hey, Ben, you want to chat? Ah, Sarah, thank you. You also pick it up, put it down. Very nice. All right, Ben. Nathan, we have not found an opportunity to take a trade yet. We're really just kind of looking at what kind of day it is and what our probabilities are, what our possibilities are. Now, we just moved up and checked the early high from the session. I took a trade there prior to make HOAG Money and made about 8 points on it, which I was happy with. Not looking for any big moves here because we're all waiting for new information, right? And so now we're kind of here in the middle, close to points of control, middle of the range, initial balance. We've got a normal trading day. So the worst place that I would be thinking about, the last place that I would be thinking about really is the center or the point of control. It's the gooey middle of the Oreo cookie. Everybody's very comfortable there, but that's not where I want to trade.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ben. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm sorry I'm late.
We've missed you.
Well, I appreciate that very much. I've missed me too. My mom, she had to go to the emergency room last Saturday night, and it's just been an ordeal. You know, I mean, she's back home now, and all that, and things seem to be on the up and up. But you know, it sends you sideways, right?
Well, sure. God, I'm sorry that she went through that. You all went through that, but she's doing better now.
Yeah, according to my two of my sisters who went to stay with her. So
Okay.
yeah, and
Well,
yeah,
we will all pray for her. You know that, okay?
okay, I really appreciate that. So what I wanted to share, well, I just got stopped out of the trade, but so maybe it's not such a great idea anyway. but let me show you just real
Sure.
quick
Let's see.
what I propose. Share screen. Okay. Okay. Tell me if you're seeing my profile chart.
Yes.
Okay, so I split it right here at J period because we had a significant change from what's been going on for a while, you know, and we had been one time framing up, but then we've rotated back down. Well, it was trading back and forth during this volume area, right?
Are
So
you
now
are
we
you
gotta-
using your cursor?
Mm,
We may not be on the right screen if that's the case. I don't see your cursor.
okay, let me
There it is.
okay, I'm on the wrong screen. Let me see. How do I switch? Well, I'll bring this in. I'll just bring this over.
Oh,
Tell me if this
okay.
helps.
All right, cool.
So, all right. So, let's see here. Okay, so I split it at J, and we've got this profile here. But we were one time framing up, and we kind of broke out, you know, really. But then we couldn't get any higher, so we still have excess up here. We've got excess in this profile, but I was looking at just rotational right here.
Uh-huh.
I was looking, I took a long down here at the bottom of this profile, and it's, yeah, it may work, but you could also possibly argue that we need to use H and merge these. Oh, let's just take a look at that because I haven't yet. Okay, well, that puts this L period right at the bottom of that volume value area. So, you know, this gives us some trade locations if we want to try something, you know, and or maybe just even an I and see what that looks like. Well, in that case, we got a little poor low here. But, you know, that's the idea. And I was initially going to use the overnight high as behind that as a stop placement. But then the whole Zoom thing was happening, and I didn't get my stop in until now. I better just put it here. So I put it down there. I may get stopped out. I thought I'd gotten stopped out when I joined, but I hadn't because I didn't put the stop in. But anyway, the whole, what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, depending if let's merge this together, we could just trade this profile until something changes and then go back to the regular. So, like, this would be a place to maybe get long or wait till it takes out these lows here, which means
Which puts us right down to VWAP.
Where do you have VWAP?
4207.
Okay,
4208.
out.
Now we just went through
anyway,
it.
all right, that's all I wanted to share. And I may not be in best form today anyway, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully you're not taking any big risks for a little while here.
Well, I didn't have the best day today already. So at any rate, that's my own fault. I was trying to do too much, and it was a Monday, and, you know, I completely forgot the feds were talking. And
Yeah.
that screwed me up. You know, I was up a few $100, and then I didn't know what happened. And I'm like, totally forgot they were talking. And that's, I'm sure, what happened.
Yeah, and then there was the bogus report of an explosion near the Pentagon.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. Yeah, I got to get my systems back in place. You know, like I've kind of been slacking on some prep stuff and all that, you know.
Hey, no slacking.
All right,
Be strong, Mr. Ben.
if you want to take it back, hi, Fred.
Mr. Hoag, we got the IVM. Got the halfback of the initial balance.
All right, and here.
And we're also at the volume value low of the full profile.
Uh-huh.
And, well, I've got all these, I think you've taken the screen back, that's fine. I've got, you know, I have those high volume areas.
Here's that halfback. Do we like it? Do we take it? Say yes or no.
Don't do that, Mr. Hoag. You put the gun to my head.
No. We're all gonna decide on this one. Do we like along here?
Let's say yes. Let's say yes, and we'll risk the bottom of the initial balance for. Well, if you do 2-1, that'll bring us to. If we do a 2-1 here, that'll bring us to 37. That's not realistic in a half an hour.
No.
Well, it's also not, doesn't seem realistic from the tempo point of view, and you know you have to get away from all this volume, which is like a.
So what if we risk half of the half back? So the whole initial balance was 30.75.
So we're looking for a
divide that by
long
4.
in this area. So I'm
Right.
launching the poll. Let's see here. Start a poll. Look. All right, I've asked everybody. We'll see what happens here. On YouTube, you can just answer. If we're looking for a long, you know we're looking for somewhere between halfback and the low of value. So we're going to look around here. 5 even maybe. Give it another 10 seconds here. 58 participating on the Zoom meeting. Keegan says wait for more consolidation. 73% so far on YouTube are saying yes. Go ahead and vote, doesn't matter. All right, here's the Zoom, 59-41. Yes. And on YouTube, how many people voted? Let's see. 18 people voted, 72% yes. So you're talking halfway to the initial balance low.
Yeah, so that'll be about 7.6 points. So approximately 8 points of risk. But that still might be too much for the reward.
That's down to 97. See what it looks like here. We'd have to get pretty close to the high of the day for this to be a 2-1.
Correct. Got 30 minutes left in the session.
Yeah, I think we're pretty bold on that, but you know I don't hate it. We got settlement in the area. We got halfback. We got value low. We got volume value low is a little bit lower than that. We'll see if we even get filled. I mean, this is so range bound.
Yeah, where we put the limit order at?
Well, we're gonna get in first, but I would look, anywhere up near the high. 20 ish. I mean, if we're looking for 2-1, that's what we need to get, right? Joe wondering if your internals are still higher. Keegan wouldn't take it personally. He's waiting for more consolidation. Chad, you started using 1 point stop losses.
Oh no.
He says he's like Michael Corleone. I like bad news as soon as possible. There you go. Careful with that, though. You may die by 1,000 cuts there, Mr. Corleone. One day, I may ask you for a favor.
What a wacky profile.
Yeah, it's just it looks like a sombrero on its brim.
So the Pentagon threat was this morning during the IB, or was that during H period? What was H period? Just flushing out.
It was in B period.
Oh, okay.
Right at the end of A period into B period.
So H period was another, that screwed me up too.
This
And,
move down here.
Yeah, we're just like flushed real hard,
Uh-huh.
and like suddenly I just put an order on too, and like couldn't believe it. I've been watching it, and the tempo was slow, then all of a sudden lightning strike or something.
And 11, let's see here. Well, at 10:05, it was Daily, Bostic, and Barkin were barking.
Mm-hmm.
11:30, there was some short-term bill auctions, but that's really it. I don't know if anything actually happened at 11:30. Just one of those things.
I actually got mad at the market and felt like it was rigged for a minute. Like I haven't had those feelings for a long time. I worked through them. I started thinking like, man, they just had to know I just put that order on.
Yeah, right. Like they feel you.
Yeah.
Now, there's on one of my 11:05 daily spoke, and there was another one. 11:05 Barkin, Bailey, Bostic. They spoke they didn't speak at 10:05. They spoke at 11:05. Because I'm looking on Financial Juice here, and they're all coming out at like 10:58, 11:01.
I was just looking at H period is like 1 or 1:30 my time, so that'd be 12 or 12:30 your time.
Yeah.
Really flushed.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ho, but structurally on the tick chart, we're making lower lows.
Do we not want to take this? This is your trade. We agreed on it, but if you don't like it anymore, we'll pull it.
Let's call the Hogan and let's go short.
So we're doing the opposite.
Yeah, let's do the opposite. Yeah.
Well, that means either the one before wasn't
That's the
thought
final
through,
call.
or this one wasn't thought through. In my opinion, like if we just all of a sudden.
Well, he's looking at a tick chart, so it's probably a pretty short time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also the first 5 minutes of a new TPO, which a lot of times there's a little art of misdirection going on in the price act, in my experience.
I don't know. I'm I'm all right with this. We'll try
so
this.
We'll stick with the cheap move. All right.
We don't have to take it all the way to the stop. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we fish or cut bait? Here,
I think double down.
fish or cut bait? Do we stick with this trade or do we pull it?
I don't know. We still have a weak high. That A period is right to the tick where it broke Friday.
Fish?
In D period.
Here, I pulled everybody. Fish means we stay in to try and catch this long, if you're wondering. Yeah, no news on the budget talks or the debt limit. They're not speaking till later. They're not going to be. They're not even going to be talking until like 4:30 Eastern time, 3:30 Central, apparently. Been mildly bullish all day, but not enough to change the context, Joe says. So it's a two-sided day for sure. All right, we're in. So now we'll just 67%, I think, said fish on YouTube. 56% said yes in Zoom. Here's those results. Boy, I should have held my my long a little from before HOAG Money. Now we'll see what happens. Probably nothing.
Nothing burger. So, quick question. Elaborate more on the tennis man analogy. I think this is a perfect example for this.
Yeah. Well, it's a range-bound day, right?
Right.
So you got one side of the court over here and another side of the court over here. So if we were playing tennis, after we send the ball back to the other side for that volley, to make sure you're available to catch the ball, whether it goes lower or higher, you recenter in the middle of the court.
Okay.
So when the market's range bound, it's going to spend more time in the middle of the court because that's where it's comfortable. That's where two-sided trade is going to occur mostly. So that's where our little tennis player is right now. He's hanging in the middle of the court, just waiting to see if anything changes, and he can run to catch the ball up here or run to get the ball down here.
So, and in the middle of the court, technically, will be the point of control.
Point of control. Yes, the gooey middle of the Oreo cookie.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that part.
See, that's what everybody likes. So, and that's where most of the two-sided trade is occurring. That's where people are comfortable transacting business. But as a trader, I don't want to trade where people are comfortable. I want to trade where they're uncomfortable. On the extremes, price gets too cheap. Sellers won't sell it. Buyers take it back. Price gets too expensive. Buyers won't buy it anymore. Sellers take over. That's where your innovators and your laggards are, right? What we are now. I would say we are a late adopter for longs. We can still make money, but the best trade location is down here where the innovators bought it. And you didn't get much time to get it bought down there, did you?
Right.
And you didn't get much time to sell it up here either.
And to know that we didn't get enough time is when you see single prints.
Right. And we don't know that at the time, which, one of the things that makes this so difficult. But what did we do yesterday? We had excess down here as well.
And you know what I noticed today, Mr. Hope? Today was great for opening range.
Yeah, it worked nicely up to...
Today was excellent.
Up to where? Up to the point of control in the upper distribution from Friday.
Nope.
That's just perfect repair day.
What was the second book by Dalton name? Something on markets.
Markets
The
in
second
profile. Markets in profile.
Yeah. I was reading that one. Forgot the name. That one is a good book.
Yes,
The
it
first few
is.
pages is awesome.
Yes, it is.
Can't wait to finish it.
When I had dinner with Jim Dalton, he says, "So you like Mind Over Markets? Have you read the second one yet?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." He says, "You gotta read it. It is a good book."
Quick question, Hope. I have both, and then when you mentioned it a few days ago, I bought it, but I didn't finish the first one yet.
It's all
Does
right.
it matter which one? Should
No,
I
I mean,
finish the first?
as long as you have a relatively good grasp of profile before reading the second one, you're fine.
Okay. Because for some reason the second one feels more interesting than the first.
Yeah, there's more meat in it, right? The first one is the basics, the bones, and getting into more information. Now the second one is it involves like some technical analysis alongside with the profile, right?
Yeah. Beautiful nuggets, Mr. Hope. Thank you for referring those books.
Oh yeah, they're
It's a game changer, especially for futures. I recommend everybody that's listening.
that's the
to
Bible,
those books.
New Testament and Old
Yeah.
Testament.
Yeah. It changes your mind, teaches patience, understand different concepts. And I didn't read all the books, but just from what I read so far, it gives you a whole approach.
It's it gives you the I never thought of these markets as auction processes, right?
That's correct.
I thought, price just moves around and we try and make money at it, but there's more to it than that, I mean, anything that can be bought or sold is part of an auction process.
Oh.
Well, here we are. Joe, the title of both books, Mind Over Markets by James Dalton and Markets in Profile.
Don't worry about the cost, traders. Buy it. Invest in yourself. When you want the porcelain, you read a few pages.
But if you don't have a kind of a little more than basic idea of how the profiles work, definitely read Mind Over Markets first.
Oh, I have a suggestion, Mr. Hope. TradeObey has a YouTube page that goes over the TPO charts.
Oh, they do?
Yes. I meant to mention it, but I didn't know if I could. You don't want to be too intrusive. You understand?
Yeah.
But TradeObey has a page. So if you go on TradeObey, type in TPO on YouTube, you see things come up about it, and they go over it on a very basic scale. They even teach you how to design the charts too, similar to what you did, Mr. Hope.
Oh, cool.
The exact same way. Yeah. So.
Now I can refer people to that.
Yeah. But I think maybe you should look at it first to see if it meets your approval. You understand? Because you have a certain way of saying things and doing things, and I don't really want to step on those lines.
So we got a new 15-minute candle. That's kind of going to be on make or break usually. But I also was curious, what do you have on the market on close given the time period we're in?
Let's see here. Imbalance. Sell side 207 million, 175 million.
I'm going to take one off at 775.
You're long.
Yeah.
Joe, great book. Best Loser Wins. Tom Bugard, great book. Although I feel like I missed part of it because I bought it on Audible. I bought the Audible so you can listen to it. I feel like I kind of missed part of it. But I can always listen to it again. Yeah, Stottlemyre as well. Markets and Market Logic. And don't forget Mental Game of Trading, Jared Tendler. That's another good book. It gives you lots of good, actionable things to help you with your performance in trading. I think he's going to be back.
Yeah, I got that book too.
Yeah, he's going to be with us again on Thursday, 10 o'clock in the morning on Top Step TV, if we ever get that up and running.
Oh, quick question, Mr. Hoag. I got the email with the daily loss limit.
Yeah.
So what that means is that if your account didn't reach the drawdown limit, you'll just be disqualified for that day.
Yes.
Is that pretty much what it is?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. If you hit your daily loss limit, but you haven't hit your max drawdown, it'll just take you out for the day. It'll be, it'll be open for you to trade again at 5 o'clock in the evening that day.
Yeah. Okay,
So you don't have to reset. If you just, walk away, come back, you'll be ready to work the next day.
Right. The only drawback, quote unquote, is that you have a bigger hole to pull yourself out of. But at least you could play. I think that's the most important thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, but let's say you're up $5,000 in the 150K and you hit your daily loss limit of $3,000, you're still up to.
Correct.
Now you don't have to reset and go back to zero. You can start the next day from +2.
+2, that's correct. Kind of helps you get out the step one hole.
Yeah.
A little quicker.
I'm sure there'll be a percentage of people who don't realize that 2 days in a row like that, and you do have to reset.
That's true, man. That's true. But hopefully, you can really take a seat and look at where you went wrong.
And, it kind of forces you to have that discipline to stop. Maybe you've already hit your loss limit, but.
Yeah.
And you guys are really helping us to become successful. That's
Well,
very nice. That's very, very nice.
And stay tuned. There's more coming.
I know. No, you can see the evolution.
What's going on with the, and I may have missed it because I've been spotty this past week. What happened with Top Step TV?
We've been trying to get the production right. We've gone through 2 different production softwares, and we're getting close. We're getting close. It's coming.
Have you tried StreamYard?
I don't know what we're doing. That's above my pay grade. I just do what I do, and they're trying to figure out which one we're going to use.
Well, there's one called StreamYard. If there's anybody listening that's involved in that works really well on YouTube, and people call in. You can see you have a backstage area where make sure they're not nude. See their face.
And what's it called?
StreamYard.
StreamYard?
It's really popular on crime channels and stuff like that. Seemed to work really well. I don't know about the delay and stuff, but it does what you guys were doing with sharing the screen and
Right.
Like they'll have a couple people who are talking and the host's face is on one side, and they usually are playing some news clip or something on that type of a.
So that's StreamYard, like a stream and a yard.
Stream, like the video stream.
Got it. Cool.
All one word. Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Mr. Ho, one more thing. I've been going a little bit off topic, but I was watching HG Copper.
Copper?
I was watching Copper today. Right. Then we had a downtrend, but we had a huge buying tail. And you always say auctions end in excess.
Yes, they do.
And I was just curious if you could confirm that mindset, if you can, on the HG, if it's possible. If you can, then I understand.
No, let me bring it up here. Hang on just a
What's
second.
HG, Fred?
HG is on Copper.
Copper.
Oh, I see.
What's the front month?
I think it's M for Mary. Wait, let me make sure. No. M for Nancy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's not a lot of volume there.
Well, I'm out. I got one off, but the next one was a loser, so I'm good.
Yeah, we're not looking too good here, are we?
No, kind of want to go again here. That was a market on close probably
Yep.
because it really flushed quick.
So, oops. HG. So you're saying there was a long buying tail at the end of the day today?
Yes. No, not at the end of the day. I think D period. Let me make sure. Let me help out with some data. Because I was trading it today. Let me see. That's 11:30. So that's A, B, C, D, E period. That's E period.
Oh,
E
I see
period,
it.
11:30.
I see it.
Yes. So
Yeah, it's a pretty long. That's a pretty long buying tail on the 30-minute here. This is what we're looking
Correct.
at here. You're looking at You're looking at this here, right?
yes.
What's the bigger picture though? You look at the daily. Range bound. No real excess below that. So, yes. Was it the end of a short time frame auction? Yes. But how is the auction in the opposite direction going? It's not.
Yeah, it's not really going too well.
Uh-uh.
Because on the daily, we were in a bear flag. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, no
You know,
problem.
sometimes you want to make sure you learn things the right way, and applying that information is important when you see it on different assets.
Mm-hmm. Ben, did you get back in?
Yeah, I did. I trying to think what just happened here. I got in and I took one off under the VPOC, and I'm trying to get in on average again on another one, but I'm still long from 250.
Nice.
Ben, you trying to go long or short?
No, I was long with you guys. I was at 5/4, and I had one
Okay.
I took off right, and then it came back down, but then it flushed at 250 Eastern time, and I got stopped out on the other one. But then it flushed just a little bit more, and I'm like, that's it, and I bought again. I don't know. Sometimes I get a, it's a weird thing. Sometimes a lot of times you just have to be patient, right? And then other times it's like you just got to execute.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I've picked that up somehow. On sometimes like I'm wrong, but then I'm like, that's the entry, I don't know.
Yeah, but so Hoag says you got to pay for your mistakes. What he says again? You have to pay for information.
Pay for information.
So now I'm risking a bit more. I just got filled higher at the second one, so I'm gonna try to take that off up here about 6.
But this is what makes me worried. We close under the halfback of the initial balance.
I don't know
We
that
have
really
we got
matters.
5 minutes left. Yeah.
I think what matters a lot more right now is that everybody's waiting on and I don't know, but we're waiting on news about that debt thing, and we're right around settlement, I think. And I could see today closing, within plus or minus the settlement a little bit.
Yeah, 4204.75 is settlement. We're there, right there.
It kind of explains sort of like why we're back here at this time of day, and we're not really pushing too far one way or the other.
Right. And the daily pivot from Friday was 4207.75. When these equities are indecisive, it really shows.
Oh yeah.
It really shows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what's bizarre too? The Russell had a trend day today. It's crazy how these other markets act so independent at times.
Yeah. Yeah, they have their own minds. They're related, but they're like kids. They have their own personalities.
I took a peek at it today. I'm like, wow, if only we was watching the Russell, we would have had a great opportunity.
Yeah, I used to keep an eye on like the other equities, and I just got away from it.
It's tough though. It's tough because you have a small window to enter. So once you miss that window, it don't make no sense to chase.
My problem is if I'm watching other stuff, I want to trade it too, and then I'm
That is sweet too.
hard enough, you know. It's just I kind of have a grudge against it. It's like one, it's like you know what, it beat me so bad for so many years, and I'm just, you know, and there's been shifts in my trading in the last couple of years, and I just feel like that's the one I've got to be in.
But in hindsight, Mr. Hoag, short was the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna put this there, see if we get it, and if we break even, we break even. Well, it's kind of dumb.
3 minutes left. We got 3 minutes
I
left.
know.
Be careful.
I know it's kind of dumb, you know. I mean, we got this much risk and no reward. We're just gonna get out. We're out. I ain't gonna mess around with this. We got tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Got
Yeah,
one
tomorrow.
good trade in today, and that's good. I'm happy about that. Hopefully, you guys, everybody else traded well. Ben, Greg, thank you very much for keeping me company in the last hour. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
Before you go, I'm gonna send an email with those topics, so keep an eye out for them.
Sure.
today.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, no problem.
See you in the morning,
Yeah.
Mr. Hoag. Take care, Ben.
Trade
Stay
well,
strong, all right,
everybody.
my man?
Greg, sorry,
Yes,
I called you
sir.
friend earlier. I don't know why I had a brain cloud. I know your name. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Bob. Have a good day, everyone.
See you later, Hoagie. All right.